Hey, Husky fans, welcome back to another episode of Fourth and Inches, a Husky podcast. I am your host tonight, UW Leah, aka Why is Dan Wilson? And I am joined by Turtle Toe, Trev Mueller, and Terp Toe, Jakey Grant. Two of the same coin, it sounds like. Unfortunately, Coach is struggling with, I think, some really bad coughing fits due to COVID. So we're shout out, Coach. We miss you. So we're not going to be with him tonight. But we're here to recap the never in doubt game over in College Park, Maryland, against the Terrapins, where the Huskies were able to play a particularly hideous brand of Tyrone Willingham football in the first half and look lights out in the second half, and en route to a 24-20 victory. First road win in conference in the Big Ten Conference for the Huskies under Jed Fish. What are your initial reactions to that result, both of you guys?
Yeah, I mean it was a struggle bus watch early. We talked about this off the air just a little bit ago. I was camping last weekend, celebrating a birthday, and I didn't get to watch it. I was watching it on my phone, just a score update. It got to the point where me and my wife were taking a walk, and I just said I can't. Late in the third quarter, down 20-0. I can't watch this on my phone anymore. I can't keep track of the score. I'm letting it affect my mood, as all good fans do. We let losing affect our moods. But we're in the pool later that afternoon. I see that we win. I come home. I watch the game, and you nailed it on the head when you called it a Tyrone Willingham-esque first half, followed up by an absolute beauty of fourth quarter. 21 points in the fourth quarter. Demond looked like Demond from the first 3-4 games of the season. The thing that I am particularly tired of is not, and we've been harping this all season long, stop taking Jonah Coleman essentially out of the game in the first half. Give that man the rock. He's a bad motherfucker. Let him run that ball. Please, don't wait until the second half. Give Jonah the rock and let him establish the run early. And once they did that in the second half, the game completely transferred into UW's favor.
That's one of the big things that I talked about is in a little post game little monologue that I did, is that the coaching staff finally remembered that Jonah Coleman was a member of their football team, and he looked really, really good. All of a sudden, the Maryland defense is on their heels. All of a sudden, it's not, a Damon Williams who really struggled to find his spots early, that those windows opened up a little bit. He made a couple of really beautiful throws, but he also didn't have just the entire defense bearing down on him the entire time. They also moved the pocket for him in the second half, which was awesome. But, you guys talked a little bit about Tyrone Willingham. Let me raise you Nick Holt defense to start the game.
No.
Dude, we were off coverage. We were playing a soft zone, and they dinked and dunked us all the way down the field. Malik Washington was never under duress because he got the ball out in like under 2 seconds. And that's how they ended up moving the ball, but then not being able to score. So there is a little, I'm going more on the corner play of a Nick Holt defense where everybody was off, but they only allowed the one touchdown in the first half. They got an interception. McEllistein got an interception. Held them to 2 field goals, but then they gave up that touchdown to go to 20. But still, they only gave up 20 points in the entire game. And after that touchdown, they only gave up 52 yards for the rest of the game.
Look, you cannot say that our defense was playing like Nick Holt defense. Our safeties were not 40 yards off the ball, okay? Like, let's not do that, okay? That is a ridiculous...
Our corners were 15 yards off.
It was a ridiculous... Yeah, but our safeties weren't 40 yards past them, so that's kind of a ridiculous...
That's Jimmy Lake when you're going 40 yards downfield. You watch your mouth.
Stop it. Jonah Coleman, there's no reason that Jonah Coleman should only have 18 attempts for 57 yards in an entire game. He should have 18 attempts, 57 yards in the first half.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there because you're absolutely right. Because what is the strength of Maryland's defense? It's their pass rush.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care
who it's right back.
I don't care who, if it's Maryland, if it's Ohio State, if it's Penn State, who is hilarious. Thank you, Penn State, being so bad.
We need to shout out the person who made the meme online that was the Legally Blonde meme, where it's
so funny.
The boyfriend saying, like, you beat Penn State, and UCLA is like, what? Like it's hard?
Like it's hard.
Yeah. I saw I saw a time lapse earlier of the AP Top 25, and watching Texas and Penn State just plummet after week 7 is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Just 2 and 4, and then all of a sudden they're just bam out, just completely out of the picture. Is my favorite part about the AP Top 25 right now.
Also,
Let's
chef's kiss. You know what Oregon no longer has is a ranked win.
Funny.
Anyway, continue, Jakey.
um at the end of the day, our defense still did an immaculate job. We held Maryland 40 yards under their passing total for the season. We held them 40 yards under the rushing total for the season. Our defense played lights out. They kept us in this game the entire time. No matter how bad our offense was, for them to keep us at 20-0 even was a feat in itself, with how bad the offense really was, with DeMond throwing that ugly first pick, with constantly giving Maryland's offense a short field, and then our defense having the ability to just constantly stop them and giving the offense more and more opportunities. This game doesn't go that way. I know that DeMond's getting a lot of credit for the second half heroism, but this game doesn't go that way without that defense.
I absolutely agree with you, Jake. I think, especially, particularly after that interception that you mentioned, for the defense to come back and hold them to 3 after where the Maryland offense started with the ball was a huge feat. And obviously, every point helps in a game where you win by 4 points when you have to rally from 20 downs. Absolutely, the defense, unsung hero in that game. And if it were a Nick Holt defense, Trev, they would have given up like 35 in the first half.
I agree. I'm just talking about the alignment. They kind of let them
I
walk
know.
all over. It's obviously hyperbolic because you're right.
For
They
sure.
held them to just 20 points. And really, there was 52 yards in that last 3 drives. But that last drive, they got 32 of those. So you do the math there. They held them to almost nothing.
That's lockdown.
And then and they finally start to get something going. Washington gets the stop. They got to march the length of the field, and Denzel Boston and Damon Williams just connect. I mean, 2 monster throws.
And Desmond Roebuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. But another weird thing that, like, if I'm a Maryland fan, I'm still mad about is the taunting call in the end zone. That was pretty bad. But I got to tell you that that kid was so mad, and there was he should have been, but Washington took advantage of him immediately. He was with Boston. Boston goes inside and beats him on a slant, and then jumps over him after he scores the touchdown. And from then on, that guy was cooked. He was the one that was in coverage when Roebuck made his catch. It was a really bad day for number 6.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as I feel about that kid getting that penalty, which to your point, Trev, that was a very weak call. Considering what we had gone through the week prior at Husky Stadium against the number 1 Buckeyes, I'm okay with it.
Oh, I don't shed any tears for him. Nope.
No, and also considering the fact that we are in the middle of a gauntlet where we're playing most of these teams where they're on a bye and we're not, I'm not upset about it.
Yep, not even a little bit.
Maryland hasn't won a game coming off of a bye since like 2014.
Isn't that crazy?
Saw that. That's bananas.
Yeah, I don't know.
They won a half.
Congratulations.
Did they give out half trophies, Trev?
We'll see.
We are millennials. I mean,
participation trophy.
The answer is yes. Yeah. Jake has one behind him. You can see it.
That was good. Decker DeGraff.
Thank you.
Day, show up, be productive. I loved seeing that. They kept talking about him the entire broadcast, that tight ends are really utilized in a jetfish offense. We haven't seen that yet this year, and so getting to see Decker catch for 6 catches, 62 yards is a step in the right direction. I'm glad that we got to see him be utilized this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about big number 86 for weeks, about where the heck this kid is, because he had such a monster freshman season. It's so awesome to see him not only have some great plays, but be really utilized in that space.
Oh, man, it was so nice. Like, yeah, they used the tight end. Like, no, I've watched. They threw it. What did they throw to a tight end once last week? It was really nice to see them not only use Decker. In practices before the season, it was a lot of deep balls to Decker. It was nice to see them using him kind of like the best way to use a tight end, and that's to move the chains. And he was able to be physical once he got the ball. It was really really nice to see. So really happy with, and this is all like from it's all the second half. I mean, the
Yeah,
first half was brutal, and it goes back to what we started this. Jake started us off with is like Jonah Coleman ran the ball. Jonah Coleman caught the ball. That's what we have to do. Jonah Coleman has to touch the ball so many times for this team to be successful.
absolutely. So you want to like go right into position highlights, starting with Demond. How did he do? And like, what's his overall grade considering what happened in the first half?
I give him
That's
a B overall because it's probably a D minus to an F in the first half, where I'm going to give an F to coaching as well because they were just dropping him back against two really, really good edge rushers. And that didn't help. But also his decision making was bad. He missed on some balls that he usually connects. He was throwing high, obviously, like the pick he overthrew the guy. But there was a couple more where there was some separation with the receivers, and he was missing high. And then the second half he was basically perfect.
Absolutely.
he
I
looked a
actually
little
felt
amped up
like
in the first half.
Demond's a little bit. I think that
Sorry.
honestly, his pick, you're totally fine. The pick kind of messed with his head. I felt like he wasn't right until the second half. He was missing high, he was missing wide open kids. Throws that we haven't seen him miss by that margin all season long. And I have to think like those coming on the heels of a really bad interception that resulted in 3 points. He needs to be better at like, hey, mistakes happen. Let's just wipe the slate clean. And also, your defense had your back. Everything's okay. You're good. So I think a B, maybe like even a B minus, is probably a fair grade for that game.
Yeah, I agree. I think yeah, it's so tough just grading an entire game based off of the performance, right? Trevor nailed it. I would give probably a D minus to an F in the first half. He seemed amped up. He seemed to be overthrowing. He seemed to be getting those road jitters a little bit, which is a little bit surprising. But to bring it back down to earth in the second half and make those game winning drives late, that's an A in itself. So I mean, I'm satisfied with a B grade.
And like just being decisive of getting out of the pocket when he's in the pocket, getting out, not holding the ball, not trying to force it, just use your legs and be an athlete.
The better he gets about just planting his foot and going, either making a throw or going upfield, the better this offense is going to start rolling. Because
Or
if he
throwing the
just
ball away too.
if he goes through a progression, if he goes through his first progression, second progression, nothing there, I'm going to find that hole and I'm going to get going. This offense is almost unstoppable.
But that's
Absolutely.
fast too.
Completely agree. All right. So, not a great first half, but recovered and obviously led the team to a win. So, he gets a passing grade. Running back room. Sounds like we're pretty high on Jonah. How'd the whole room as a whole do?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I guess I give the running back room an I for incomplete in the first half because there just wasn't enough to go on for the grades, right? He was absent, and I don't think it was his fault. But when he finally got his opportunities, like Maryland held him to his lowest output of yards per carry this year, and I'm not even mad about it. He gets the big touchdown. He moves the chains when he needs to. He even caught the ball. What did he catch the ball? Where is it here? 8 times for 47 yards. Like that's 6 yards a catch. Like he's continuing to move the chains. And then like Adam Muhammad didn't get a lot of carries. It's really going to be heavy on Jonah Coleman. He's not going to get a lot of carries when Jonah Coleman only gets 18, and I couldn't even tell you how many he had in the first half. It wasn't enough though. So like Adam Muhammad's doing things when he has the ball, but this is the Jonah Coleman show right now, and it should be that way for the rest of the year. So
I don't
an A in the second half.
I don't remember seeing one of those prolific Jonah Coleman runs in the first half, right? Where he makes a jump cut, he breaks through the line, where you don't think that he has any room coming through the line. It wasn't until the second half that I started noticing those runs that Jonah Coleman that we've come to know and love. And I think a lot of that was a lack of just runs in general, but then also momentum and having the, getting the offense rolling. Um, Jonah Coleman, I mean, that guy in my book always gets an A because if you give him the ball enough, he will make good things happen.
You know what's crazy though is those big plays that you're talking about, Jake, weren't on runs. I'm looking at it. His long was 6. And I think we're going to talk about why here in a little bit. But the ones that got us places were some of those catches, like the catch that he got to get down to the 1 before he was able to punch it in. Like, he's making guys miss on those screen plays to turn those into big plays, and that's exactly what Washington needs.
Look,
So
and let's not
perfect.
pull punches here. Like Maryland just had a good game plan.
Yeah,
It
you're
was to
absolutely
bottle
right.
up Jonah Coleman and
Yep.
get Demond
That's a good team.
uncomfortable. Yeah, and you're right. That is a good team. They were 4-0 coming into the day, and it took everything that Washington had to beat them on the road.
Yeah. Was all in for that, and also like it's just going to be a big team effort in making sure that we prioritize getting the running back room more touches, particularly for Jonah. Moving on to wide receivers, pretty absent first half by way of kind of our quarterback's not great play in the first half, but second half was a different story.
Look, Denzel Boston for 6, Decker DeGraff for 6. Are we just going to clump tight end?
Yeah,
just
we're going to clump
tight ends. Okay,
Yep.
I'm clumping. Desmond Roebuck for 4. Jonah 8. He's a running back still. Raiden Vinesbright 3. That's the first time I remember rattling off 5 wide receivers catching balls all season. So they're working towards getting more depth. They know that they need more depth. They need to keep getting Raiden in and Desmond in and getting them more exposure to Demond. They're going to be, if Washington keeps winning, it's because those two are making a bigger impact. And they need to catch more balls and run more routes to make those impacts. And I think we're going to start seeing them a lot more as the season goes on.
Couldn't agree more. And I think the more that they're targeted and the more they deliver, the more open Denzel's going to be.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because that was my next point. Is it's only going to help Denzel.
And you saw Denzel like become like the star finally came out in the second half. Like that big play that he made down the sidelines, very reminiscent of like the body control of everything to that JP before the touchdown to Rome against Oregon, where he kind of comes back in between the defenders into more of the hash instead of the sideline to make that catch. I thought he was great. Obviously, the touchdown, he just out athleted and bullied a sad defender. He was sad, and he took advantage of him. And Desmond Roebuck, even for his size, has somebody on Twitter asked like, "What's his comp?" And it's a really hard comp to give because he does so many things that are good, and like. Some people said Doug Baldwin, but he's not quite as big as Doug Baldwin. Some people said, who's the K-State guy from the Seahawks that just left?
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett, something like that, where he can get loose, and you can almost throw the ball to him, and he can run underneath it. That was and to get the foot down in the back of the end zone, like that was great. Mm-hmm. So again, I don't know what you give him in the first half because I don't know how many opportunities they had. It seemed like they were open. But how do you not give him an A in that second half?
I did not realize he was only 5'11". Wow.
Yeah, he's not huge.
No.
Denzel Boston and Jonah Coleman, there are 2 teams probably in the Big Ten that they're not going to out physical everybody that they play against, right? Ohio State, maybe Michigan. If they played Penn State, I don't give the total edge to Denzel on that one or even Jonah. But outside of those 2, maybe 3 teams, defenses, those 2 are going to have the ability to out-athlete everybody that they're playing against the rest of the year. So use that to your advantage.
Absolutely. Really stellar, kind of like as Jake said earlier, like a lot of guys got the rock. Really cool to see that. And then we're rounding it out the offensive side with talking about the O-line. We are hobbling into that game. How did we do?
Not well.
Yeah.
That was really hard. When Jonah Coleman only has 6 yards, when there's guys in the backfield the entire time. Carver, if you need an ACL, Jake has like half of one he can give you.
I don't think so.
I know. That's the hard part.
You
used to.
they're repaired already.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you have my repairs.
We need him back so unbelievably bad.
John
And
Mills
we
going
also need
down.
John Mills back as well.
Yeah. John
And
Mills going down. That one hurt. When I walked him walk away, the pessimist in me was like, this
yeah,
game's over. Yeah, we got
I
nothing
know.
left. You know,
I
when John
know.
Mills walks off,
And
we came into this season talking it was a 6-man rotation. And then you watch John Mills go off, which was the 6th man of the
that was
rotation,
just,
and I'm thinking we're screwed.
yeah, the interior line really struggled. That was a tough game for them. And the good thing is Jed and the offensive staff finally decided to make the decision to move DeMond out of the pocket because the pocket just was collapsing too fast. So like the Denzel Roebuck touchdown, that was a boot out to the right where he was able to get outside, plant his feet, and throw a perfect ball 35 yards down the field.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he's not having to worry about the pocket collapsing right into his lap. And so like that's how you get rhythm. And Washington, hopefully, I don't. Whenever I see an offensive lineman get rolled up on like Carver Willis does, I worry about significant time, as in not this year. So I don't know, but
Is Carver
you're gonna have
officially done for the year?
no.
He's
I'm
not.
just saying when I see a defensive lineman roll into an offensive lineman
Yeah,
and the offensive lineman
100%.
goes down awkwardly, I automatically think ACL. I don't know if there's been anything on the MRI. He's on the depth chart, but who cares? The only people he's taken off the depth chart are guys that are out for the entire season anyways. So that gives me hope that he could come back. But Max McCreed is playing left tackle. And I'll leave it there. So I gave him a D. Like
Yeah,
you gotta be better.
yeah. You can't give them a passing grade, right? You just can't do it. And last time I checked, a C- was the last passing grade. So I'll
Well,
go.
D's get degrees, baby.
Oh, well, in that case, then I can't even give them a D.
I think isn't it C's get
I
degrees? I don't know.
cannot give them
C's
the
good
D.
degrees, Trev.
C's get degrees. That's my bad.
Okay, so I
I was
can
never
give
that
them
low. Shoot.
so I can give them the D.
You can give him a D.
Okay.
Give him the DJ.
No, I can give them the D. Okay, perfect. Moving on.
All right, so
Pause.
offensive MVP.
Oh.
Jonah Coleman.
Oh. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Decker DeGraff, man.
That's a good pick.
Not just for the fact that he finally showed up, but that also gives future opponents something that they have to watch, and that takes the focus off of Denzel.
Absolutely. I love a tight end with big paws that catch the football consistently. And also he blocks well. So he's a young kid who showed up really early in his career and is continuing to make a statement with UW offense. I mean, because Trevor already took Jonah,
I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Keep going.
I'm going to take DeMond simply for the fact that he didn't let the first half define him. And a good quarterback has a short memory, just like a goldfish, like on Ted Lasso. So I liked that he was able to shake that off and really play his best football in the second half.
I'm going to go with Desmond Roebuck. You are a true freshman. You weren't even here for spring ball. And to make that catch, to just put all the pressure on Maryland after that's a huge catch. And he's a threat that I think is going to be really fun to watch in the years to come.
Did anybody else notice Maryland's football stadium after we scored that last touchdown?
Yeah.
Empty.
Uh-huh. They gave up on the team quicker than the team gave up on themselves.
And there was like 4 minutes left.
Oh yeah, there was plenty of time to go ice the game.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the defense. How did the boys on the D-line do?
Maryland sucks when it comes to running the football. They don't run the football, and
they average like 90 yards a game, dude.
Their rushing attack.
Yeah,
it's one of the worst in the sport.
I'm looking at it right now. Rushing average per game 93 yards a game.
That's okay. That is with FAU, Northern Illinois, and Townsend on your schedule.
Touche.
I don't.
God bless it. You had to bring up the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this team doesn't rush the ball. And this defensive line's good, and so there was no holes. They only had like 50 yards on the ground. If you want to put edge in there as well, the edges put a ton of pressure on Malik Washington like in the second half and made him hurry. Like the game plan really worked in the second half. The defensive line gets an A.
I agree.
I can agree with that.
They were the only times that they had lapses was because the offense was letting them down and forcing them to be on the field far too much.
But they still were. I mean, when you needed them in the second half, my God.
Yeah,
And
they
even
were.
after giving like that third quarter touchdown, that was red alert time. And then they just came out, they went into man, and they stopped. Maryland, if you're up 20, if you're Washington, you run the ball with Jonah Coleman, you waste all the time, and the game's over. They get 2-3 possessions tops. But Maryland couldn't do it because this defensive line wouldn't let them run the ball. It was beautiful.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Everyone think they deserve an A this week, Jakey?
Yeah, I think so.
Jake's
what I'm
nodding his
really-
head for an audio podcast.
Yeah. I was just sitting here thinking, Javon Parker can't come back soon enough.
Please.
I think he is going to make a world of a difference. If he comes back and plays like he did at the start of last season before he got hurt, I think that defensive line is going to be primo. So that's why I was nodding my head, Trev, because I was sitting there just daydreaming about Javon just coming back and just wrecking interior offensive linemen.
I mean, yeah.
You know?
And it just elongates that really deep group of like they're all in the hall of pretty good right now. Like they all are. There's no like bona fide. There's no Vita Vea, but there's a bunch of guys that just make plays.
I think Javon can be that guy. You know, I mean,
he kind of was before he got hurt.
Yeah, I think he can be the guy that we all look back and go, he kind of reminded me of like Greg Gaines and Vita. And I mean, he's got a different build than all those guys. He's not as short and round as Greg Gaines, but
God,
like
I love Greg Gaines.
He still has the ability to come back and be a really special player for that D line.
Love to see it.
Eat up double teams all day long.
Love to see it. All right, moving on to edge.
I kind of clumped him in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did too.
Well, the show sheet just says otherwise.
I know. Well, Jake did it a couple of weeks ago, and we had a fight about it. And
I'm a trendsetter.
Okay. You know what? Let's talk about the edge. Screw you, Jake.
Jacob Lane, not the best day.
I like Jacob Lane.
I know, I do too, but like one total tackle, you know, nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. He was around a lot of things. I thought that they did a really good job setting the edge. The one who I thought shined the most was Isaiah Ward, and I know that he only had the one, but he had some quarterback hurries as well. They were just around Malik Washington in those last 3 drives, and it made his life hard.
But it was only the last 3 drives.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, you're 100%
I mean,
right.
The first half, there was not a defensive lineman in the backfield
because he was getting the ball out so fast. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing, is they just took away, not that Washington has like an elite pass rush, but they do have elite corners, and if they're giving you zone, you find the soft spot and you get rid of the ball as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Until you throw it to Philistine.
Yeah.
True. All right. The cornerback room. How do we do here?
Look, have you seen The Other Guys? It's one of my top 5 movies of all time.
Coach has made fun of me.
No, we've talked about this. Yeah.
I have not.
The Other Guys with like the 3-minute rock.
Yeah. As Mark Wahlberg says, I'm a peacock, Captain. You got to let me fly. You got to let these guys play man. And when they did, they shut them down. It was really cool to see Leroy Bryant like blow up a couple of those like horizontal passes where they tried to get the ball into a receiver's hands and let him make somebody miss. And Leroy Bryant does what really got him into this rotation in the first place. Again, Ephesians Prysock was super physical in the run game and in the pass game. Like, once they allowed him to play man, there really wasn't much that Maryland could do because we have elite corners and Dylan Robinson is a budding star.
Yeah, I mean, Ephesians, that guy just keeps making plays. Man, when Takario comes back, it's going to be. I think like Takario going out has kind of let Ephesians be that peacock that Trevor just alluded to, and he has to be the guy, and he was forced into that. That's great audio for all the people that are listening, Trev, is you flapping your feathers like a
This
real.
is why you guys need to all follow
Yeah.
and watch on the YouTube channel Fourth and
Thank
Inches
you.
of Husky Network, right? Because these are the gems of this podcast that you will miss unless you watch.
I don't know if I
Screw you,
agree.
Jake.
I don't know if Trevor flapping his chicken wing is a gem. Forcing Prysock into the role of the best corner has done him a huge favor, and he has stepped up to the challenge. And when Takario comes back, I think that those two are going to be absolutely nails.
When do we think that he's going to come back? Any idea? And just best guess, do we think Michigan?
He
I
could
think
be
that- I
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be Friday.
They keep saying he's like right there. It's just the pain that is when it is when the pain of tackling.
Wasn't he suited up in Maryland too?
The
I
what?
thought I
He
saw
was
him
suited
suited up.
He was suited up last week too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at this point, you snuck past Maryland on the road. You have Rutgers at home. You give him one more week knowing that you're going to beat the break off of Rutgers. And then you suit him up the following week.
The only reason I would maybe be okay with that is that Dylan Robinson's pretty good. But we'll get into that. What you're kind of getting into the preview a little bit, but there's one thing Rutgers does and there's one thing Rutgers doesn't. And Rutgers does play offense. They just don't play defense.
Okay. That's actually good news. Okay, so corners did pretty well. How about the safety room?
They got an interception.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a big deal at the time because I mean, they get another score. This game looks different. Does that even if they go get 3 and it's 23-0, does Jed settle for that field goal, or does he go for it in a tough situation?
Not get it. Yeah.
Then you're done. So,
not only Mikel getting that interception, but Alex, man, leading the team in tackles again. The safeties get an A+ all damn day. All damn
Jake,
day.
I've been thinking about what you say often, and I agree with you with some teams and disagree with you with other teams.
You agree with Jake? What's going on?
I agree with me and Jake agree on it.
I don't what are you referring to?
Now here we go.
Okay.
You said, and you were right when you said against Ohio State. If Alex McLaughlin is leading the team in tackles against Ohio State, Washington will lose.
You son of a bitch.
And you're 100%
don't
correct.
get to use things that I said against me that
No,
I said
I'm not.
2
I'm
weeks
saying
ago.
I'm agreeing with you partially because you're 100% right. He led the team in tackles. They lost. If he's losing, if he's if he has the most tackles against running teams, that's a problem. But if he's leading the team in tackles against a team that doesn't run the ball like Maryland, that's a really good thing.
Absolutely. Totally. I agree.
Yeah. And that's kind of the duality of the Big Ten. Apparently now they're starting to learn that you can throw the ball forward. And that's what Maryland does. And Alex McLaughlin made tackles.
Alex McLaughlin is the perfect safety for where this defense is right now, right? In the position that they're in, with the teams that they're facing, Alex McLaughlin is the stone cold tackler that saves. He's the last line of defense on a defense, and that guy does not whiff on tackles. And he is a huge reason why this team is 4-1 right now, just because of the ability to be that last line, to have the reassurance that we have somebody back here that's going to make the tackle 10 out of 10 times and
Mm-hmm.
know that we can come up when we need to because we got that safety net behind us.
Yeah, and
Absolutely. I
Michaela
also feel
Steen
like
has been able.
he's a vocal leader too. Like every time I've seen him in the back end, like he is directing traffic. I think that there was a situation in the first half where Jed had to call a timeout because I don't think the defense was on the same page. And it was because Alex was kind of communicating with the sideline. I think we need to talk about this.
He is always the last one communicating on the defense. That's a great point. Whenever the defense is lined up, he's always the last one yelling across the field, making sure that everybody's in the right position, and that is a great sign.
And that's just a really good duo because that frees up Michaela Steen to be the free safety that's
Go,
going
yeah, go
around.
play, go play freely.
And then how great is that for somebody like Dillard Allen to be behind those two, learn from that, because as Coach mentioned, Coach thinks he's an NFL player and he's got two really good upperclassmen in front of him. That's a recipe for success down the road.
Absolutely. So, who is your defensive MVP for the game at Maryland?
Go ahead, Trev.
Well, the linebackers did good things too. We forgot about them. Jacob Manu had a really good game. Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Jacob
mine.
Manu, it's funny because at times in the beginning of the year, we were talking about Jacob Manu like redshirting. And now he's played 2 games. He's looked like the vintage Pac-12, all Pac-12 defender from 2 years ago. This is a really good Jacob Manu, and he would have had a monster sack, but the running back made a really good he took him out by the lower half and flipped him on a blitz late in the game. But
Hmm.
he just makes his impact felt wherever he is. I really like what Jacob Manu brings to this program.
You stole mine, Trevor. I'm gonna agree with you. I felt like in moments where it felt like I wasn't even sure where the Huskies were motivated or even felt like they even wanted to win the game in the first half, Jacob Manu was the one who convinced me, okay, like these guys are serious because the open field tackling from that kid was lights out. And he did it with fire, came up flexing, like he wanted the contact. And so he did that all game long. He did not wait for the second half. Defense, of course, played well the whole game, but I was really inspired by his play throughout the whole game.
Look, mine's going to be Alex McLaughlin. We just talked about him. He's a dude. But what I don't want to miss in this opportunity is you guys talking about Jacob Manu, but let's not forget about Devin Bryant either. Those two playing side by side is absolutely lights out. I love those guys next to each other. They both are tackling machines. I don't think you could say enough good things about the linebacking core this weekend.
Absolutely. To me, on the defense, they are the ones who get the game ball for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to tie bow on Maryland. That is the longest road trip we have to make this year, thank goodness. And we are going to have a quick turnaround. We have a Friday night under the lights game against Rutgers, 6 p.m. kickoff. We're going to try to avenge something that should never have happened, which was a loss in Piscataway last year. I know everything is legal in New Jersey, but that should never have been legal. What is there to look for in this game? What do we think is going to happen? And predictions.
Could you imagine if this game was also on the road? The travel to Maryland to back to home to
Oh,
back
do
New
you
York
even come
back to
back?
I mean, I think they have to for class.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just whatever you want. Just hop on online. We'll be here for you. Um I don't know. You talk about a team that doesn't run the ball all that much. Rutgers does not run the ball all that much. They don't run the ball nearly as much as they throw it. I can't even say the quarterback's last name. Trevor, hit me
I
with
got
it.
you. Ethan Kaliak Manis.
Yeah, Kaliak Manis. I mean, he's completing the ball at a pretty good rate, 67%. He's pretty accurate. He's only got 2 interceptions on 9 touchdowns this year. So what I don't want to see going into this game is exactly what we talked about with our defense. I don't want our corners 15 yards off at the snap. I want them to be within 5 yards. I want to pressure, and I want to give our D line a chance to get to Kaliak Manis.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna start on the defensive side of the ball for Rutgers, And what I'll say about the Rutgers defense is they made Iowa look like they had a functional offense. Like Iowa moved the ball on them through the air, on the ground. They made that new quarterback that they hyped up because he threw like a 10-yard out in training camp look great. This defense is awful. Like, which
Question,
is
Trev, for
yeah.
you is that considering how kind of beat up our offensive line is, how do you feel about Rutgers' defense as it even is against our hobbled together offensive line? Go ahead.
Well, the fact of the matter is, like, yeah, we're beat up. I don't expect the Hatchet brothers to play as poorly as they did in that game. I think that the right side of the line needs to take a step forward. We need a Drew to has a party, and we need to make sure that we take care of it because this defense is not very good. They got into like a scoring, trying to outscore Iowa, and they couldn't outscore Iowa. Like, that's crazy. And they have the offense that can do it, but their defense is just so bad. I watched the Rutgers Iowa game and the Minnesota game, and they just can't stop anybody. Like, Minnesota's offense isn't great. Iowa is Iowa. It's the best offense they've had in a while. They got a guy that can get in space and make plays, and they gave up a special teams touchdown because Iowa's really good at that. But still, like, there's so many points to be had against this
Okay.
Rutgers defense. Damon Williams should be the MVP. He should be uh, getting out of the pocket. He should be putting pressure on whatever spy they have on him because he's flat out better. He's more athletic. This defense cannot hang with Desmond Roebuck. They can't hang with Jonah Coleman. They can't hang with anybody that Washington has that's going to go out on that field.
Look, like,
Jakey?
Washington struggles with getting quarterback pressure, right? Rutgers struggles even more than Washington to get quarterback pressure. Rutgers had 3 total turnovers forced on defense this entire year. If we turn the ball over against these guys, A, it'll be a fluke. B, it'll only happen once. C, I would be absolutely ashamed if we turn the ball over against these guys. Our offense will move the ball whenever they want, wherever they want. The one thing, I mean, we talked about this earlier. This weekend, what I want to see from Demond is first read, second read, take off because Rutgers will let you run on them. I just think that Trevor nailed it. I hate to agree with him, but if he's not the MVP of this game,
Then it would be
it
like
would have to be
Denzel
Jonah.
Boston with like 150 yards,
I don't
right?
know. I mean, it has to be
Right.
Jonah if it's not
Yeah, I
Demond,
was
right?
just going to ask, like,
Right.
if there's a lot of running room, then Jonah should have some room too.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you're talking the I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit. I got to write an article for a website down over in Maryland, and I missed the final score by I think I had us at 28-24. So I had the margin, I just had it off by a little bit.
Okay.
And it came down to, for me, when I really started thinking about it and not just duging on here all the time, is um when I looked at what Maryland did well and what Washington does well on defense. The strength of Washington's defense is still their secondary. Ethan Kaliak-Menes is better than he was last year. He also doesn't have Kyle Monangai.
Yeah.
So you have a quarterback who's developed in this program, who can throw the ball downfield, who can push the ball downfield, who has some receivers. But again, he's going to have to go up again. If Takario Davis is back, great. If not, you're still Ephesians Prysock. You have all of those guys back there. That is a tough ask for anybody when you don't have a run game.
So they don't have a run game, and I don't know if anyone's aware that the forecast in Seattle is going to be overcast, leaning towards rain. So not good news if you're a passing team.
It is really weird to see a Graciano team be awful at defense because that's kind of always been his
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, they had a ton of guys come back last year, and there was one of their best players had a season-ending injury last year, but I think a lot of those guys moved on due to graduation, and they just haven't filled it. It's a bunch of young guys. So
Look, the points given up this year are absolutely atrocious by Rutgers. You mentioned you
crazy, right?
mentioned you mentioned
Is
Iowa.
Nick Holt their DC?
It could be.
Okay.
Iowa was in New York and scored 38 on them. They're going to be on the road this weekend. Minnesota scored 28 or 31 on them in a win. Rutgers loss. Rutgers beat Ohio 34-31. That's not Ohio State. That's University of Ohio. If Washington doesn't score 45 points this weekend, I would be absolutely pissed. I'd be pissed. Flat out.
Oh, you have to
Okay.
outscore Iowa.
You have to outscore Iowa. Iowa was on the road when they scored 38 against them.
Uh-huh.
We're at home. If we don't score 45,
Yeah.
ugh.
I
You
agree.
know?
I 100% agree. And Rutgers is going to score. Like it's not going to be like a 45-3 game. They're going to find ways. Like Ethan Kelly-McManus is a good quarterback. He has some weapons. I just really like our secondary, and over the course of 4 quarters, I'm going to take this defense
Yeah.
with our offense as opposed to whatever dreck that Rutgers is throwing out there plus their offense.
I love that word, Trev. You've used it several times on the podcast the last couple of weeks. Dreck.
I looked it up.
The one thing that we do need to do is we need to stay 3 deep at corner. They do have 3 wide receivers that they do
Yes.
throw to all the time.
Yes.
So that is the one thing. They're going to spread us out offensively. Callie McManus does throw the ball around the football field. That is going to test our secondary. He does use his tight end. I just don't think that they can score at a clip that we can, to be honest.
He makes plays. Like watching their games, I actually feel bad for Kelly McManus because he makes plays, especially in the first half. Like he looks really good, and the defense just figures him out. And that offensive line. I mean, again, it's Minnesota and Iowa, like 2 teams that have better defenses than they do offenses, and they're still outscoring them because in that second half, that offense just wears down.
Is our edge room going to be able to get home on Kaliak Manis at all?
Maybe.
I would say yes, because he's not the Maryland quarterback Washington. He doesn't have a 2-second drop followed by a short, quick slant.
Okay.
Kaliak Manis will hold on to the ball compared to Washington. So, and especially in the second half is where I would expect the D line to get to Kaliak Manis. It's not the first
Okay.
half. The first half
Okay.
they're still gonna run quick slants and get the ball out of his hand. But when they fall behind by 14 in the second half, that's when the defense is going to start pinning their ears
You're
and getting
100% correct.
Okay.
Yeah, when
So let's
Washington
move.
finds the stop and scores, and they go up 2 scores, it's going to get uncomfortable for the Scarlet Knights.
All right. Prediction time. Trev, you're up.
I liked Jake's 45, so I'm not going to take it away from him. I'll go 42-20.
So I'm going to be pissed when we only score 42. If we don't score 45, I'm going to be pissed. So for that reason, I'm going to pick Washington to win 44-28.
Okay.
So you can be mad.
Just Jake likes to be mad.
I
So
He's
love
the
to be
big-
pissed.
Yeah, he's a big old grump.
So I think I am not going to pick a score that Jake likes, but we're still going to get the dub. I'm going to call it 38-21 dogs.
It's going to be comfortable. I do think so. And Rutgers is going to, let's see, they have 3 wins. They're in danger of going 5-7 because I think they lose to Washington. They're going to lose to Oregon. They'll beat Purdue. They're going to lose to Illinois in Illinois. They have Maryland at home. Maryland, Malik Washington's going to throw all over them. Then they have Ohio State. They'll probably beat Penn State. Penn State sucks now. That's hyperbole.
Not everyone is as good as your baby blues, Trev.
Dude, so true. Go Jerry Neuheisel.
Right? That's a fun story. Okay, so let's look at some games going on around the country. I'm going to start off with the SEC and then move to our conference. So number 8, Bama is a 3.5-point favorite at 14 Mizzou. That seems low to me.
I would take Alabama to cover that 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the
Alabama looks
Alabama
pretty
that
good.
we all? What happened to the Alabama that we all loved? That was just losing. Stop.
Right?
Stop.
What
Stop
happened?
winning. Pissing me off. They're
You know
gonna cover.
why? They have
They're gonna
Parker
cover this game.
Brailsford. They have Jeremy Bernard. They
And
got what was?
hey, Jeremy Bernard's so good this year too.
Yes,
It's
he
so
is.
frustrating.
You know what? I understand why he left Washington. He's one of those guys that I still really like, including and Parker, and then Josh Cuevas as well. I love those guys.
Yeah, Bama's gonna cover.
Number 1 Ohio State at number 17 Illinois. Buckeyes are getting 14.5. That seems low also.
I think we
Even though it's on the
saw
road.
Ohio State's defense is just so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't even have to protect. I was talking to a Big Ten buddy today that's a Nebraska fan, and I'm like, at this point in the year, Ohio State really hasn't had to do anything on offense to win games. They just beat you defensively and just wear you down. So I think they do that to the Illinois as well.
I think they win by probably 3 touchdowns. At least.
I don't think they will. I mean, I'm actually going to pick them not to cover because I don't think offensively they're going to do. They're just going to methodically
Maybe
break them down.
You stole my pick. I was gonna pick Illinois to cover.
Okay, moving on to this one's a little bit tricky for me because I think it's actually always better if you face a team coming off of a win than a loss. Number 15 Michigan at USC. USC has 2.5 points on the Wolverines.
Like USC's favored?
Yeah, they're favored by 2.5 over visiting number 15 Michigan.
I don't know. That one.
Which USC team's going to show up, right?
I think Michigan's quarterback is actually really good. I'm watching him. I think he's a good young quarterback. I think he's going to really, in 2 years from now, I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the nation. I don't know if he's ready to travel to USC yet. I don't know if USC is ready to travel to USC yet. That's where I'm struggling. I don't know. What Trevor said it. What USC team is going to show up? It's against the top 15 team. So I'm going to take USC to cover. They're going to show up just because it's Michigan.
But do you trust Lane Kiffin in a big game? That's the question.
I'll have to.
Lane Kiffin's
You're
not
talking
even
about Lincoln Kennedy. Not Lincoln Kennedy.
Not
My
Lane-
God.
My God, how did I mix them up? Same initials, but yeah, Lincoln Riley. Sorry.
I mean, I trust Lincoln Riley as much as I trust
James
Sharon
Franklin?
Moore. No, Sharon Moore.
Nobody trusts James
I don't think
Franklin.
he's a good coach either.
I don't either.
Listening to
he's
you guys
good.
struggle with this, the biggest problem with this one and why it is such a big struggle is it is like objectively the two things that these programs do pretty well are strength on strength, is defense versus offense. And so which one travels? There's gonna be a lot of maize in the stands. It's gonna be amazing. And
It's amazing.
there's going to be a lot of Michigan fans there. I like Moivea. I think he's a good quarterback. There's always going to be talent around him, but like Michigan's defense is pretty good. So, but every time I root for every time I pick USC to do anything that benefits me, it blows up in my face. So I guess I'll take
Right
Michigan.
That right there. I think like it's hard because I want Michigan to win because I'd like for them to be pretty cocky when they face the Dogs, and I'd like USC to win because I like the Big Ten, the big guys from the Big Ten coming over to our coast and getting smacked,
Yes,
which they did
that's
last
true.
year when they came to Seattle. So I can't decide ultimately. I'd like to see an upset, but I'd also like Michigan to be feeling themselves a little bit too much and read their press clipping. So I think I will pick Michigan to quote unquote upset USC, even though Michigan's number 15. The game of the week, game day is coming to Eugene, Oregon. Number 7 Indiana at number 3 Oregon. Ducks are getting 7.5 points.
Indiana's going to outright.
I love
I I know that they struggled last week, but the stomping that they put on Illinois, the stomping that they put on all the other teams, Indiana is real good, and I think what's the quarterback's name? Martinez.
Yeah.
Mendoza.
Mendoza.
Thank you.
It's yeah. He's gonna bounce back, and he's gonna put himself right back in the Heisman candidate.
Trev?
You think as like in this situation that Jake's talking about, as he's throwing the game-winning touchdown, does he like whisper like "for Cal" and he throws it deep?
No, I don't, because I think he found the greener pasture, right?
Yeah, that's true. I guess he also left Cal. Man,
Who
I don't
thought
know.
Indiana was greener pasture than fucking California? You
That's
know?
crazy.
That is
Well, there's a
wild.
lot of pasture in those places over on the Midwest.
You ever
Huh?
driven? You ever driven through Cal?
Yeah, I mean, in Northern California, there's a lot of pasture there too. You're not wrong. I'm gonna throw up in my mouth a little bit.
You're gonna do it.
Until somebody like beats Oregon, I just if somebody shows me that Dante Moore is human, I'm just gonna like until somebody beats Oregon, I'm gonna pick Oregon because they've looked really good this year.
You said it yourself. Penn State is dog shit. You said it yourself 25 minutes ago that Penn State is bad. And Oregon squeaked by.
You're gonna get so mad at me in a second. Keep going.
That was it. Oregon squeaked by against Penn State, and now they're going up against Indiana, who is absolutely playing lights out.
Okay, I'm so glad you're a therapist. This is couples therapy. Here we go.
Can't wait.
Here's the problem with what Oregon does to people. I was sitting next to you when Oregon broke you in the fourth quarter of
And
the
then they
Husky game.
lost.
Quiet. Now, he never lets me talk. Do you see what I'm dealing with? Now,
Lips moving, still talking.
yeah. Now, Oregon has this thing where they just break you when they beat you because it shouldn't happen and it does. And then when Washington comes back and win that game, Jake is reborn. And Washington goes on to go to play in the national championship. Oregon broke Penn State. Did it have to be Oregon? Maybe. It's just another ranked team that James Franklin couldn't beat. He's broken. So that was the best version of Penn State that we saw. Do you think I don't want to be right about this. I want Oregon to lose. I want Oregon to lose by 21. And I hope I'm wrong, but until they prove it, the only time I'm going to pick against them is the last game of the season.
I have a counterpoint. I have a counterpoint.
Jake has the floor, Trevor. We need to this is a safe space.
Look, I'm gonna respect his time. Here we go, Jakey.
If you respect my time, I'm gonna be so pissed. Indiana barely beat Iowa. Yeah, it was in Iowa. Iowa uglies up football games every time they play in Iowa. Fact or fiction? That's what they do. They long sustained drives, lots of field goals. They force you to kick a lot of field goals. That's exactly what Iowa does.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana did exactly what they needed to do to win that game. The week before, they played an Illinois team that was ranked number 9 in the nation. They're still a top 15 team. They beat the brakes off of them 63-10. Outside of that, Indiana hasn't played anybody. But those two games tells me that Indiana is better than Oregon.
I hope you're right.
Oregon's not beating Illinois 63-10. I guarantee that. Indiana is
that's not the line.
I didn't say that was the line.
Jake,
I'm just saying Oregon's going to cover the 7.5.
Jake, I'm gonna make you upset. Every time I've made any sort of prediction this season, it has been wrong every single time. Like outside of the Huskies, every time I've made a prediction, it's been wrong.
Are you over really?
Pretty much. And because I'm wrong all of the time, I'm gonna pick Oregon. I'm gonna pick Oregon to win by 10.
You do Leah things. Do Leah things.
That's right. Leah is often wrong. Leah is often wrong in doom texting. about her really hyperbolic predictions about a lot of things. And this is a situation where, like, you know what? Historically, this season, when I predict things that the Huskies are not doing, I have pretty much been wrong every single time. So, with that said, I am going to pick the Ducks to win and cover. I think that Indiana is a good team, but they're not ready for big time football yet.
Here's what I'll tell you, Jakey. I hope to God you're right. And if it's right, both me and Leah will come on next podcast with the title Jake was right.
Oh my God,
You-
can't wait.
I'll have to
Can't
do
wait.
that.
You don't tell me this. You tell our listeners this, who are all cursing your guys' names up and down this podcast right now.
I will, you know what? I will do that, and I will also tweet as soon as the game is over. I was wrong. Jake is
Hashtag
right,
Jake was
and
right.
Blackbeard
Easy.
delight forever. I will say that.
You just had to bring that up, didn't you?
Getting closer to Halloween, Jakey boy.
You want to shave it off now so I don't have to?
Ooh,
Should I
your brother-in-law's
change-
not going to accept that, buddy.
If this happens, should I change my name to Jake Cap?
Well,
Yes. Dude cap. Oh my gosh. Well, it's all the clock is about to strike 10 o'clock, which means that we need to wrap
we
things
have
up
to
over
talk
here.
about one more game.
One more game. What's that one?
It's the most important game. It's Jake's school versus Texas in the Red
Our-
River Shootout.
Ooh.
Fair.
Going to the fair, baby.
Can I just say, I grew to really appreciate Mateer. I really did. As an adoptee to Oklahoma, I go to Oklahoma. I now love Oklahoma. I still bleed purple, but then there's a hint of red in there, you know? Oklahoma is still by far, bar none, better than Texas. Texas is an atrocity of a football program. Arch Manning is an atrocity of a quarterback, and Texas is going to go down in absolute flames. Go Sooners.
Texas wins by 10.
Not a chance.
Oh,
Hey,
Texas by
if,
10.
Stark in a
if-
big game, huh?
you know what?
Stark,
You know what?
well, actually, yeah. I mean, he's not playing Kalen DeBoer, and he's not playing the Huskies, so I think he does it.
He's gonna
If-
sloppily get on there and horns fucking up.
Please.
No, hook 'em to the horns. That's what it is.
I will double down on this bet, and if Oregon loses, you can come on here with Jake was right. If Oklahoma loses, I will come on here next week dressed as Ryan Day.
I don't actually care about that. I don't really care. I just like to go conversely with you. I think that Texas is
Hey,
not ready for big time.
Hold on, let's just hear him out on
Nope,
this.
Okay.
nope. Too late. You already declined. Nope.
Leah, he gave you a gift.
I shouldn't look a gift horse in
If-
the mouth, should I?
if- What's the spread?
It's 1.5.
It's Oklahoma by 1.5.
If Trevor, if Oklahoma wins by more than 10, you have to come on this podcast dressed as Bert Kreischer when he's doing stand-up.
No. None of our listeners or
and
our
if-
viewers need to
and
see any of
And
that.
if Oklahoma doesn't cover by 10, I'll come on with my Blackbeard.
What? I'm. You know what? I'm gonna go full Leah on this one. I don't care too much. I don't care enough about this game to do that.
you chicken.
All 44 of our YouTubers would not appreciate my Burt Kreischer.
Hey, everybody get on our page, on our Instagram, on our Twitter. Tell Trevor how much you want him to come on the show dressed as Bert
Nobody's going to respond. I can guarantee
Do
you
it.
that.
Do it.
That's for my OnlyFans account.
You got to pay premium subscription.
Yeah.
Only Dukes. Only Dukes.
Only Dukes. Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, we're past 10 o'clock, which means all of us who are either near 40 or in our 40s need to go to bed. Thank you guys all for listening and hopefully watching a raucous episode of Fourth and Inches. Please keep watching and listening. Let us know. Do you like the therapy that I give Jake and Trev? What do you want to see more of? Do you want to see Jake or Trevor come topless to a podcast? I don't know. We don't know unless you tell us. So please keep that feedback coming. So it's going to be a wild night of traffic on Friday. The Mariners have first pitch in their Game 5 in the NLDS against the Detroit Tigers at 5 p.m. That's first pitch. the Dogs. This is a Husky podcast. They kick off at 6 p.m. It is going to be raining on Friday, so pack your patience. Get out on the road early. Get into the stadium as quick as you can. I understand that it's going to be kind of a house divided on Friday with what's going on in the city of Seattle, but we're out here trying to win Big Ten football games, and we really could use your support at Husky Stadium. The kids need it. They've been playing really well. They deserve to have your support, particularly after last week's game and the rally against Maryland. So we're going to have some crazy things happen on Friday night, and I predict the Huskies are going to more than cover the spread, and the Mariners are probably going to get a dub against Tarek Skubal for the fourth time this year. So for Trevor Mueller, Jake Grant, I'm UW Leah. Let's go eat a dub and get that fifth win and get that much closer to bowl eligible. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Chill out,
Come
Jake.
see me in the stands on Friday. Go Dogs.